All right, we're here with Adrian. He got, what was it, 8th place?
I got 8th place, yeah.
8th place at Santa Clara Regionals. Congratulations, man.
Thank you.
Made top out there. What deck were you playing?
I played the Furniture Lab deck.
And how was your matchups that day?
They were pretty good. I went 7-1-1 in Swiss. My one loss, it definitely was I misplayed really hard, so it was deserved. But I definitely felt like I was playing really well outside of that.
Yeah.
I played against 6 different decks in Swiss. I played against Flu, Eldritch, VS, Scareclaw, VS again, Purely, Rika, Kashira, and Kashira. The losses being to the Purely deck and a draw with the Kashira deck.
Yeah. What was your hardest matchup that day?
It was definitely both of the VS decks. That deck was it just has a lot of inherent ways to play around your stuff, enchainables to interrupt you.
Yeah.
But I was able to get both those matchups still.
Yeah, nice. All right, well, let's check it out.
Yeah. So took inspiration from Ryan Useless, and shout out to Brian Chen for making me play this deck. So we maxed out on all the furniture. This card is really strong because it not only does it increase your chances of doing your opening combo by 15% or something, but it also gives you an interrupt for all a lot of the decks the Purely deck, which is not the best matchup in the world. And it's just really strong. A lot of the times this came out for more hand traps post side, but in the main deck it was really strong. Going forward, I would still play all 9. For the rest of the lab cards, we got to play 3 of this, of course. This is generic Stratos. This card's insane. 2 this. If you could play one of this, I would. This card's not very good to draw. It doesn't do a lot of stuff by itself, but you need to play 2 just in case one gets vanished. And then this is the worst draw on the deck, but this card is crazy. This lets you play around Ghost Spell, lets you play around a lot of different hand traps, and it's just really key. And then for the rest of it, it's 1 Labrynth. This lets you win all the grindy matchups, and like I said, through all the decks I played against, it was all mid-range. I didn't play against any combo decks outside of Rika, and this card really shines in those matchups. For the traps, it's pretty standard. It's just 3 and 2. You don't need the third of this ever. I wish we could play more of this one, but 3 is the limit. For the hand traps, we maxed out on Biru, Ash, 2 Ghost Mourner, Gamma and Driver, and 3 Imperm. So I was really scared of the Unchained deck going into the regional. This originally was not in my deck, but that was a matchup I had no practice against, and it's there's no really amazing hand traps in the matchups except this one and this one. So we maxed out on these. These are all very strong. This was originally a 3rd Gamma, or a 3rd Mourner, but this is just higher impact while it also protects your welcome traps from going off. I never drew it, but theoretically it would have been better than a 3rd of this every time. I would for sure play the same things again. Then at the very end is this is just better than Prosperity in this build. It's more important to see cards than a specific card because all your blowout cards in this deck are searchable through the ladies. Only 2 normal trap cards. I see a lot of people playing a 3rd one IDP or Glitch, but my logic was that going blind, I'll always set this one first, so why would I want to play the other ones? They don't help you going second, which is help me play the 3rd nib. And this is just a blowout against everything. Against a Purely deck, you can pretty easily break their board and then just set this, and then set this every turn to win the game. And for the 40th card, Call by the Grave, Ash is an FTK, Bell is really strong. This card just helps you win all those matchups. For the extra deck, we got Greninja and 2 tokens. I did not organize extra deck. Alright, for the synchros, we played 2 Chaos Angel, we played Omega, and we played Psyche Punisher. I know on Kenny's video, he said this was a budget option. This actually was played because I played 5 level 3 tuners in my main deck, and there was matchups the VS deck where I'm this, if I make this card, they can't out it, which is actually how I won one of my VS matchups. I made this card and just sat on it for 3 turns until I killed them. So this was on purpose. It could have been the 3rd of this, but I just wanted just in case it came up, and it did. This is for the Gamma package. Huge played. It's really strong. For the XYZs, I made every single one of these at least once. I made this against Flu. I made this against the Rika deck to send the field spell, and then this as just on top. I was gonna play a 2nd rank 8, but I was just I'll just play a variety of them because the 2nd rank 8 doesn't really matter as much. This card is really strong in just random stuff. XYZs, this card is just insurance. 2 Muckracker. It should be 3 Muckracker actually. I think I put the other one in a different deck, but it's 3 of this. This is mandatory. When I was trying to get away with 2, but I kept banishing both of them off of my extra, but yeah, 3 this for sure. And then 2 darks. Dark is crazy. Like, the amount of times that it came up that I went like this, bring back a, like, there was a match where I went this, bring back your Magnum, crash into a Druid, this crashes into the Magnum, their Druid Swarm, search for a furniture, then crash your Magnum to clear the board. They can't target the lady because I was able to pitch the furniture to set a trap, which is crazy. Yeah, 15 extra deck, like I said, it's the 3rd Mac Cracker. For the side deck, this is honestly why I did so well. It's like I just played a ton of hand traps inside. This card's just a blowout against almost everything. I don't know why more people aren't playing this. There's an argument that like it doesn't let you can't play your furniture through it, but you just play you only play this when you go second. So you activate this, you chain a furniture, it gets back to your turn, you set 2 more traps, and you pass it back, and you won. So I don't know. This card only came in twice, but both the times it came in, I saw it, so it was crazy. These were for sure MVP. I saw these way more than I thought I would. It just gives you extra value to your furniture, and it's interruptions into every deck. It's interruptions into Unchained, it's interruptions into the Mirror. It's only really bad against Kashtira, but other than that, this card's amazing. This was a 1-of Ghost Spell that shouldn't have been played, but I changed my deck list last minute to, I was playing Crossout Designator, but the Bell was good. I sided in one time, and I saw it, and it won the match, so like, shout out to the Bell. This was again for the Unchained deck, while also being able to grab both of these and all the other floodgates from the main deck. This protects from both sides of cards being destroyed, so if you go first, activate this into the Unchained deck, they literally just cannot play the game. So going forward, this might be bumped up to 3 just because of how prevalent that matchup is. We already know. I'm not even going to. This card is banned, please. And then this card was like MVP too. It hit Flu. I didn't play against any Unchained, but this card is like really good into that deck because it has to they have to destroy on the field for their effects to proc. So this is like insane to that matchup. And 2 XYZ Encore. I probably should have played 3 of this, but like I said, it was like a last minute change to add this. This card is just good into like the Kashtira and Purely decks. Like I was worried against the Purely deck that like if you let them draw 3 then clear their stuff to get an additional +3 back, it would be too much. So this was like the only card that outed all of that at once. So yeah, that's it.
Dude, super cool, man.
Thank you, thank you.
Really solid deck. Any other changes you would have made? Like any afterthoughts?
So going forward, this for sure is going to be the 1 Bell will be a 3rd XYZ Encore, I think, or it would be the 3rd Heavenly Prison. I'm thinking about cutting the Gammas, adding the Medora and the Keldo into the main deck just because, like I said, it gives more value to the furniture pieces. But I don't know. I think the Unchained deck over the last week and a half has gotten like way more popular, and that can be a hard match for this deck. But there's a lot of tools that this deck can play, and like searchable blowouts like Full Force that other decks can't play. Yeah. So I don't think it's in a bad spot going forward. I would for sure still consider playing this deck. I think it's one of the top 3 decks in the format. Yeah. And it really helps that like when a deck like Unchained is the best deck or Kashtira, and none of the hand traps that hit that deck hit your deck, it's just solid. Yeah. There's a lot of times where people like drew their hands of like Droll Nibiru and like they could not play those cards against me, and it's just like you're playing with a 3-card hand. And like if I have 60 or 3, you lose. So yeah. Well,
big congrats, man. Any shout outs?
Shout outs, of course, to my testing group. You guys all know, all the gang. Shout outs to everybody who lent me cards. There's a lot of you. I don't want to forget any of you. Shout outs, of course, to my sponsor, Area 51. You know, David Tigner. You know you're the GOAT. Yeah, and shout outs to my coworkers who kept me awake throughout the night. I went to this regional on zeros. I stayed up like all day, worked a 9-hour shift, drove there, played all day. You know what? I will name one person. Shout out to Sal who gave me a burrito and an energy drink to get me through this day because I literally was like up 36 hours.
That's when some of the best Yu-Gi-Oh is played, man.
Yeah, no, for sure. I barely remember any of it.
Well, awesome, man. Big congrats, and we'll see you next time.
Yep, thank you.
Thanks, man.